Welcome back to Halo Halo. I'm Iniba with the latest in entertainment news and lifestyle features. Joining us today is a film director, editor, producer, and his latest film, Lonely Boy, has been hitting all the film festivals and receiving so many awards. Welcome, Dale Fabrigar.
Thanks for having me. Good to be here.
Thank you for being here. Now, congratulations, because I just mentioned earlier how your film that you directed has been receiving so many awards through the film festivals.
Yeah, it's been really received really well, surprisingly. And it's a special film, and we're really glad that people are responding to it.
Yeah, I noticed you said surprisingly. Why surprisingly?
Well, it's a tough sell. The story is a mental health story, and it deals with some tough issues. And it was a special film for me and the writer-filmmaker. His name is Alev Aiden, who stars in it. It's this big premiere, you know, unless you saw him in General Hospital or whatever. It's his big come out.
Okay.
And it was really, you know, a special film and a smaller indie.
Right.
And it dealt with some tough things, like schizophrenia.
Yeah.
And so
it deals with a man that has schizophrenia and tries to fit into the world and then starts dating. Is that it?
The story's about Frankie, the central character, and he lives in Los Angeles. He deals with work, family, dating, essentially life in the big city. Except he's schizophrenic. So life gets pretty complicated.
As I can imagine. Now, how did you become a part of the film?
Well, actually, the filmmakers, it was odd because I got a call and they found me. The project came to me.
That's
and
awesome.
Yeah, it was. It really was. And it was based on, I guess, a short film. I did a Batman fan film on YouTube.
Okay.
And I guess they saw it and they Googled me and they found my contact, and he calls me and said, "There's these guys that want to talk to you about doing a feature." And so I talked to them about it on the phone. I said, "Send me the script," because we had a good connection on the telephone. And they actually did send me a script, and I read it, and I have to say, you know, I really responded to the material. It was something that I had to do. It was such a great little story, and it was so personal. It was as if I had written it myself. You know, it was a lot of development. But you know, my family, I had a personal connection to the material as well. His mother was suffering from a disease that created these symptoms, and my family, we ran a facility in Los Angeles that housed people with mental illnesses. And so that's how I knew these characters. I knew some of these situations. It was so, it's a drama, yet it was, you know, balanced with a good amount of humor. And so that, and I think people are responding to that.
Yeah, and then I was reading the reviews. I think it was like the Boston International Film Festival saying that it was so real and genuine.
Yeah, I think we had a good time visually with some of the concept where I got to play with you know, shots and things like that in the way we wanted to tell the story and make it kind of fun and interesting. But we didn't want to make light of the disease because it was very, it's serious.
It's a serious disease, and it's a story that needs to be told.
Yeah, and it's been compared to a bit like, you know, Silver Linings Playbook. Yeah, so it's like an anti.
No, but I read
the indie version.
I read another review that was like, no, it's way better than Silver Linings Playbook because it's real. You know what I mean? It's tough. It's real. They're not making light of the situation.
And I think part of the answer was, surprisingly, is when we went to the festivals, we knew we had a great film that we loved, and we wanted people to see it. But what was surprising to us is after, there were many people that stayed. And they were just so affected, and then they would come down and they'd be really emotional, and they'd say, "This is my life," and and I knew I had connections to the material, but in a different way, and these people lived some of that, and that was shared to us,
How did
the
that
filmmakers,
feel?
and it was really powerful, you know, and we were just, that's what I mean, it was really surprising, and I think the more people that discover the film over time, hopefully, they'll be able to experience that as well.
Now, take us back to when you started film, or got your foot into the film industry. How did you get started?
Wow, you know what, I just, ever since I was a little kid, you know, I guess I had a little camera. It's a little cliche, but I have photos and video of me holding it, you know.
That was a sign right then and there.
And I didn't know, you know, I wasn't really exposed to the theater or going to the movies when I was growing up, but I was really exposed to a lot of television. And so I was influenced by Alfred Hitchcock Presents, or Hitchcock, Twilight Zone, you know, Rod Serling. Those are my, those are my those are my influences growing up.
Tell me about Batman, the film that you did that caught their attention.
Yeah, you know, that one was a lot of fun. It was through an actor friend of mine that wanted to do a scene, and we just developed this little, you know, it's a bit like Gotham. You know, it's in the DC Batman world, yet we didn't focus on Batman, and it's the other stories outside of that. And I think it's a lot of fun, and I think what the filmmakers responded to was the way it was directed and done. It wasn't about fighting, although there's plenty of room for that, but it's about the acting and the way it moved in. Yeah, and it was short, but it was dramatic, and they liked the way I think. I love actors, and I love to let the scene play a bit. I mean, I just love to see what that brings out, and I just trust them in this moment to kind of let go, and I think they love that. And knowing the story that they were going to tell, a personal story, they didn't want MTV, like quick cuts and coverage here.
Over here.
Yeah, so they really wanted something like that.
So you gave them the freedom.
Yeah, and I like different kinds of films and different kinds of material, and I do different things all the time. And this one, it was time to do this one because the previous one I did, another feature, was horror, which had nothing to do with this. You know, so it
came back because of your Twilight Zone and Hitchcock love.
Exactly.
Now you were also on The Lot, which is a show produced by Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, and actually, I'll clear that up. I didn't make it onto the show. I was one of the few finalists that made it pre-final, and so I got it all the way. I was accepted. We did all the tapings. We did interviews. I signed the contracts.
The contract.
Yeah, and you know, being on a reality show was one of the last things I ever wanted to do, and that was a few years back. And I guess the opportunity presented itself, and I told everyone, no, reality show is not for me. But they said, just throw in your film, you know, and see what happens. And I guess people responded to the short that I did, and then it just went from there. And then producers called me and things like that, and then they really responded. So what I learned from that experience was, you know, there were a lot of tests that were secret. I had to do this film in 24 hours. I couldn't tell anybody. It was crazy. It was insane.
Wow.
But it was fun.
Thinking on your feet, right?
Yes, and you know, and we did it. But I learned that I had a lot of people that supported me during that process, and I also learned that, you know, you just never know what's going to happen. You just kind of give it a shot, and it also kind of validated. It happened during a time when I was trying to figure out what I really, where I should go, and that really sort of helped me with my creative journey. You know.
So my question for you is, where do you want to go? Do you want to just do editing, producing, directing, or just all of it?
Yeah, no, I love telling stories.
Yeah.
I love directing. You know, I edit a good number of projects because I have to.
Right.
I've helped other people with their projects because I love being a part of that and helping them tell their story and finding those moments.
We can tell just from the snippets that's on your website. They're so touching. You know?
Thank you.
Just like Lonely Boy, you know, which is available on demand right now,
That's correct.
right?
And then it's going to be on iTunes and Amazon in about a month, and then DVD for Christmas. So we're kind of taking the indie, you know, approach, all indie, all low budget, but it's like, you know, check it out.
Okay,
you know.
how do we get it?
You can go to www.lonelyboyfilm.com.
Lonely Boy Film.
And you can watch it on Vimeo, and VHX, I think, is on there. And then again, it'll be on the other platforms coming.
Thank you so much for spending the time and telling me more about it.
It's my pleasure.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Again, for more information on Lonely Boy, all you have to do is check out the website on your screen, which is lonelyboyfilm.com. We'll be back.